Hey guys, welcome to another episode of...
That's great.
Hi guys, Lozzie from Dudey Rhino here. What I'm going to do today is more of a commentary based video compared to the video I did on Pokemon Go previously. I think this time I'll do more of a show you and tell you video. I think that'll be much easier to kind of comprehend and also have the visual backup of what I'm actually talking about. Another reason I'm going to do this commentary video as well is because the weather on the day of the video we did previously was just complete AIDS. The wind, it rained at points, it was shit. It's Britain. And finally, the last reason I'll probably do the video this way is just to see how it compares to the other one. This video will be kind of like a continuation of a first impressions video with extra information. I'll give some more depth to what I'm talking about in terms of positives and some problems with the game. So without any further ado, let's get into Pokemon Go. Okay, so landmarks or Pokestops are one of the core features of the game. The principle is you walk around and visit places marked on your phone. If you're below level 5, you will mainly get Pokeballs from these landmarks. Over level 5 and you will get things like revives and potions to use on your Pokemon. They do this because once you get over level 5, you then have access to gyms. To activate the Pokestop, spin the image when you're close enough, and as you can see, you'll receive some sort of loot. And in this case, with me, it was Pokeballs. This is what Pokemon's all about. Caging creatures into a small ball. That's quite bad actually when you think about it. Yeah, Nintendo, you're pretty fucked up. Now this may not be the case for everyone else, but about 90% of the Pokemon I came across were Rattatas. The bastards are everywhere. The way to catch a Pokemon is to throw Pokeballs at them. Simple enough, right? What you need to do is to aim for the inner circle that surrounds the Pokemon. This gives you the best chance of catching the Pokemon. Sometimes the Pokemon will dodge your Pokeball. It's almost like they don't want to get caught. Selfish pricks. Catching Pokemon give you XP, but more importantly give you Stardust and Candy, which you can use to level up and eventually evolve your Pokemon. This, however, is where I've come across most of the problems in terms of the game crashing. I've caught Pokemon and the animation is frozen and the app is completely frozen. I then would close the app, reopen it, and sometimes I do have the Pokemon where the game froze and sometimes I don't. Okay, now evolving a Pokemon requires an amount of candy specific to that Pokemon. For example, I required 50 Rattata candy to evolve it into a Raticate. Evolving makes the Pokemon more powerful, increasing stats and attack moves. The animation for the evolution process is actually pretty cool, so props there, Nintendo. It's also quite interesting to see the evolution scales between different Pokemon. For example, Eve has 3 or 4 different stages of evolution, whereas Rattata, because it's a shit Pokemon, only has 1 stage of evolution. This is where the game gets interesting, or it's meant to at least. Gym battles are not really explained fully and there is no tutorial that I could see before entering a battle. And as you can see, I got fucked up by Voltorb. I just didn't know what to do. I just looked like a complete fucking idiot. On the second fight, however, I did a little bit better. I used a more powerful Pokemon, my Raticate, against the joke of a Pokemon, Voltorb. He'd pissed me off at this point. But again, I just didn't understand what to do. I still was swiping side to side, up and down, but then for some reason I decided to touch or start tapping Voltorb and his health started to go down, so I guess I figured it out. But then a dickhead move, Rattata, appears from fucking nowhere and fucking finishes me off with ease. I am fucking fuming at this point. I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. Should I cry? Maybe. I maybe did, maybe didn't, but you don't know because you can't see that. In my opinion, there needs to be explanation of gym battles, or at least the option of finding out within the game. For example, a tutorial or some sort of guide that would help you through that. Also, there needs to be more interaction between players on the game. I mean, sending messages, requests, battle requests, whatever. Comparing Pokemon even. Oh, and the server issues are just shocking, but it is being worked on apparently. I think when the game is really going to take off is when the trading comes into the game. That is where the game really can shine the brightest. So those are my thoughts on Pokemon Go. Do you have Pokemon Go? Let us know in the comments. Follow us on Twitter @Dudey Rhino and @DudeyRhino_HQ for my personal Twitter. I've been Lozzie from Dudey Rhino, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now. And here we have the Pidgey in its natural environment, grazing the grass for what looks like ketamine and leftover crack, used and left by the local youths. Its survival is dependent on this food.